Hi everybody, Ira Bruce here with Independent News Network, and it has been quite some time since I have made a video for Independent News Network. I'll be honest with you, I really got disillusioned with the whole political atmosphere or sphere in itself. It's just been unbelievably insane. And as an independent voter, I just kind of look at everything as a whole, like we're supposed to do. I mean, that's the whole idea about being an independent voter, right? And it's just the whole political atmosphere has just spiraled out of control, even to the point where former President Trump was nearly assassinated over the weekend. This is July 15th, 2024 that I'm making this video, and it's just absolutely crazy. If you're like me, you're probably losing your mind like I am. And what is it that we can do to stop the toxicity of this political environment? And you know, honest to God, I don't even think there should be political parties. I think we should obliterate the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, vote your conscience, and just put into power the best qualified people that there are. So unless I'm ignorant to the whole political process, the lobbying, the whatever there is, the backed people, I don't know. I just feel like there could be a whole lot simpler way to do things. To be calling Trump Hitler. First of all, you know, common sense has to prevail here. And by that I mean former President Donald J. Trump has 4 years of a record to go off of, right? They're calling him Hitler. They're calling him the end of democracy if he gets into power. I mean, how do you even think that way when there's 4 years of history there on how he ran his presidency and the government? We survived. I think the country was in a whole lot better shape than it is today. So how can anybody believe anything that anybody has to say negative about President Trump? I mean, again, common sense has to prevail. And so you watch people on The View, you watch these CNN correspondents, these MSNBC correspondents, Rachel Maddow, I'll call her out.
Just like gangsterism is a familiar trope for us in our favorite American drama, we also romanticize revolution and revolutionaries as much as any country on earth. But what we are contending with in our politics right now is a movement that is not doing normal politics and is not competing in normal political terms. They're trying to end the American system of government. They're trying to bring about a revolution against the American system of government and against the United States of America. And in this story, we're the Americans. So yes, you know, being revolutionary sounds very cool in the abstract. Just like, you know, being gangster sounds very cool in the abstract. But in the specific, what they're actually offering is boring because it's just gross force. It's the end of politics. Let's just do it by force, because physically, we mean it just the way we say we're saying it. We mean it just the way you're hearing it. We're coming for you.
she's one of the biggest conspiracy theorists. They want to sit there and call a lot of conservative people conspiracy theorists when every single one of them has been wrong historically. And I swear all the Republican Party has to do is just run all these old tapes about all the things that all these pundits, these talking heads had to say, and every single one of them have been wrong. I can't think of one thing that they said that's been correct. So, I mean, Brian Setzer, Joy Reid, I mean, the list can go on and on. Joe Scarborough, the list could just go on and on. And if you were to do a montage of a year, 2 years, 3 years ago of what they had to say about all the positive things about Biden, all the negative things about Trump. I mean, like I said, if I was Trump, all I would do is just run a whole timeline of what those people had to say and how they were wrong every single time. And it was only to influence the Democratic voter and to brainwash the Democratic voter into thinking that Trump is this horrible Hitler dictator, when just look at his 4 years as president, if he was ever anything like that. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, honestly, you want to talk about conspiracy theories? Here's mine. I think China actually put a pandemic against the world to get rid of Trump. Because without that happening, there was no way in hell that anybody was going to vote against Trump, except for the fact that that pandemic came along, shut everybody down, and the Democrats were able to do a mass mailing. Every single person on every single voter roll got sent a mail-in ballot so they could vote in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. It's just ripe for malfeasance, right? And for dishonesty. And, all you have to do is think about every single person, people that haven't voted in years and years and years, they see something come in the mail. Well, all a person who knows what they're doing, what they're looking for, has to do is grab that, fill out their name or whatever, send it in. So everybody wants to say that Trump is a vote denier, right? An election denier. And, how can you possibly say that this was a fair and honest election in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic with every single person on the voter roll getting a mail-in ballot so they can vote? No, there's no way that could be a fair election. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to get down into the rabbit hole about, everybody thinking that, you're an election denier. Well, absolutely, common sense. This is what this channel is all about. This channel is all about pure, unadulterated common sense. That's it. So all you have to do is just think to yourself and ask yourself, is there a possibility for mail-in ballots getting into the wrong hands And those, I'm just going to use nursing homes, for instance. I'm going to use assisted living, right? A lot of those people that are kind of sick and can't really fend for themselves, gets a mail-in ballot, and somebody from the nursing home grabs that ballot, fills it out to whoever they want to vote for, and that person just doesn't, know any better, and didn't know that their ballot was filled out by somebody else, signed by somebody else. There was no signature verifications. There was no ID verifications back then. So yeah, that was definitely a possibility, and that was the only way to get rid of Trump, was that kind of conspiracy to mail in ballots to every single person on the voter roll, regardless of, your ability or whatever, or your desire to even want to. 2020 had the most votes in history, right? Millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of more votes came in than 2 years prior, 4 years prior, and there's not that many more people in the world or in the country to accommodate for that amount of extra votes. So you can't tell me that there wasn't, some kind of wrongdoing going on there. But that was the only way to get rid of Trump. Now, China probably said, you know what? Collateral damage. They locked their whole country down. They literally screwed people's doors shut to try to protect themselves from the pandemic, while the rest of the world, tens of millions of people died from that pandemic. And I'm just going to call that collateral damage because of what Trump was doing to China with the tariffs and the threats, the economic threats, okay, to China. And China knew not to mess with Trump, that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. He'd already proved it. So, folks, we have got to turn this place around. I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm hoping Biden's speech the other night about trying to quell the violence, and then Trump is supposed to come on, I guess, on Thursday and talk about unity, and let's hope that continues. But I am pulling this independent news network channel out of the mothballs, and we're going to start doing some more common sense videos talking to you, the people, about how I feel. And we love to have your comments. Please go ahead. Look, common sense. Let's just talk about common sense and facts here on this channel. Okay, I went off on a tangent about this conspiracy theory about the pandemic. It is a possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that couldn't have happened, right? And there's every reason why it could have happened from China, because China's our number one enemy. They have bought hundreds of millions of acres in our land. They have killed hundreds of thousands of our young people. Who goes into the military? Young people. They are flooding our country with fentanyl to kill who? Mostly our younger, military-aged people. And so this is how they're going to defeat the United States. Now they have tens of thousands of Chinese coming across the border into now they bought all this land Now they got the people coming in. This country is in serious trouble, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep talking about this. And I hope this goes viral because it needs to be well known. Again, common sense will tell you, tens of thousands of Chinese coming across our border, unvetted, and just let right into our country. Millions of acres being bought up, or at least hundreds of thousands of acres being bought up, near military installments in our country. People from China going into our universities, stealing our intelligence and our intellectual property that are in our universities. It's a very, very, very troubling time. And God forbid Trump would have been killed the other day. Because at this point, yes, we have a good bench to pull off of. We have Governor Ron DeSantis. We have Vivek Ramaswamy. We have Nikki Haley. We have a lot of people that could replace Trump, unlike the Democrats, who know they have nobody to replace Biden. But Trump is fearless. And that is the one quality that he has that I don't know if anybody else has, is the man is fearless, and he loves this country, and he is literally willing to give his life for this country. A man who's a billionaire doesn't need to do this. Why else would he do this? He loves you, he loves me, he loves this country. He wants to see this country do better. He showed us his first 4 years that he was as a president. Unfortunately, the pandemic wiped out basically the last year and a half or year or so of his presidency. It was horrible that happened. So I'm going to say go Trump. Give him another 4 years. I understand now he just nominated J.D. Vance as his vice president, a younger person. Hopefully the young people will appreciate a young mind who will be trained by the best person possible to train that young mind of J.D. Vance. And he came from nothing to where he is today. So, we'll see you in our next video. Please keep coming back to this video channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to have you as a subscriber, and hit that notification icon, because we're going to keep making these videos, and each and every time I make a video, you'll be notified. And lastly, again, please go ahead and leave us your comments. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you back here again watching our videos.